Have you ever had a dream so big it felt like it came straight from God? But then, instead of things getting better, they got worse. Joseph knew that feeling all too well. His story starts with incredible dreams, but takes a painful, shocking turn. This is a story of betrayal, jealousy, and a destiny that was delayed but could never be destroyed. It all began on a seemingly ordinary day. Joseph's father, Jacob, called him over. "Your brothers are out tending the sheep," he said. "Go and see if everything is all right with them and the flock." Eager to please his father, Joseph obeyed immediately. He set out on the long journey to find his brothers, completely unaware that this simple act of obedience would change his life forever. As Joseph walked across the fields, his brothers saw him coming from a long way off. But they didn't see their little brother. They saw the dreamer. Their hearts, already twisted with jealousy over their father's favoritism in Joseph's grand dreams, now filled with a dark and terrible hatred. "Here comes the dreamer," they sneered to one another. "Let's kill him and throw him into one of these pits. We can say a wild animal ate him. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." But Reuben, the oldest, had a sliver of conscience. He couldn't stand the thought of shedding his own brother's blood. "Let's not kill him," he urged. "Just throw him into this empty well out here in the wilderness. That way, we don't have to lay a hand on him." He secretly planned to come back later and rescue Joseph. So, when Joseph finally reached them, his brothers grabbed him. They ripped off his beautiful, multicolored coat, the very symbol of their father's love and their own resentment. Then they threw him into the dry, dark pit. Joseph cried out, begging for mercy, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. His own brothers turned their backs. As they sat down to eat, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders appeared on the horizon, making their way to Egypt. Judah, another brother, saw an opportunity. "What do we gain if we kill our brother and hide his death?" he reasoned. "Let's sell him to these traders. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." The others agreed. It was a cold, calculated decision. They pulled the terrified Joseph out of the pit and sold him their own brother for 20 pieces of silver. As Joseph was led away in chains toward a foreign land, a slave, his brothers pocketed the money. Their cruel plan wasn't finished. To cover their tracks, they took Joseph's precious coat, killed a goat, and soaked the coat in its blood. They brought the torn, blood-stained garment back to their father, Jacob. "We found this," they said with false innocence. "Look at it. Is it your son's coat?" Jacob recognized it instantly. His heart shattered. "It is my son's coat," he cried out in agony. "A ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Jacob tore his own clothes in grief and mourned for his beloved son for many, many days. Refusing to be comforted, he truly believed Joseph was dead. Meanwhile, a world away, Joseph arrived in Egypt. He was no longer a favored son, but a piece of property. He was sold again, this time to a man named Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's high-ranking officials, the captain of the guard. Joseph had lost everything: his family, his freedom, his future. It looked like his dreams had died in that dusty pit. But here's the most important part of the story. Though he was betrayed and sold, God had not abandoned him. God was still with Joseph. This story teaches us some powerful lessons. It shows how unchecked jealousy can lead to truly terrible actions. It reminds us that obeying God doesn't always protect us from suffering. But most importantly, it reveals that God's incredible plan can work even through our deepest pain. What people mean for evil, God can ultimately turn around for good. Joseph was sold as a slave, but he was never forgotten by God. Remember this: the pit you might find yourself in is not your prison, and a delay in your destiny is not a denial. This is just the beginning of Joseph's journey. What happens next is even more incredible. If you want to see how Joseph navigates life as a slave in Potiphar's house, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the next part of this amazing story.